Hey everyone, thanks for being with us here for a CBS 8 Plus extended forecast. I'm meteorologist Evan Narani, and we are getting a check of Hurricane Hilary, soon to be Tropical Storm Hilary. If this is the first update you're joining us for, we appreciate it. We've been doing these updates for the last several days now, focused on Hilary as she made her way across the northern Baja Peninsula and now continues in that path. Right now, the latest update that we have for you, and again, we're recording this right now on Saturday night. It's about 11 p.m. Saturday night, 10:30 specifically, and we're watching as Hilary has now been downgraded. This is a great sign. This is what we expected to happen. Hilary is encountering cooler ocean water, and as she travels north, she will continue to see that cooler ocean water. Now a Category 1 storm. That's based off of your wind speed. So essentially, the water around Hilary 48 hours ago was closer to 90 degrees, 85 to 90 degrees. As you may know, in San Diego, we do not have as warm of ocean temperatures. Our ocean temperature is closer to 70 degrees, and that warm water is what this hurricane needs to maintain its fuel. So it dropped progressively throughout the day from a Category 3 down to a Category 2 by Saturday afternoon, now a Category 1 as of Saturday evening. It will continue to move north and make landfall likely as a tropical storm. So you see that. Now, as far as the timing goes, this is what we call the cone of uncertainty. Anything within that range is fair game for where this storm could make landfall, and that does still include a portion of the upper Baja Peninsula and Sonata area. Also keep in mind that when we're talking about this cone of uncertainty, the timing of it has been pushed forward a bit. So earlier, as we were looking at our models about 48 hours ago, it seemed that this storm was going to make landfall closer to late Sunday, early Monday, around midnight. Now that this storm is moving at such a faster rate, so remember, these are two different things. The storm itself moving at a faster rate north, the sustained winds within the eye wall breaking down, moving at a slower speed. We're watching as this storm is expected to make landfall closer to 5 p.m., but it's a front-loaded storm, meaning that the majority of our rain in San Diego County and strong winds are going to come before that 5 p.m. marker. So that little bit of a wider picture shows you as it continues its northerly trajectory. It will then decay to a post-tropical cyclone as we get into Monday morning. But takes a pretty long while for that to happen. All right, let's focus in on some of those headlines. Rain and wind beginning overnight from Saturday into Sunday and increasing in intensity throughout the day on Sunday. Mountains and deserts have the highest chance of flash flooding. Accumulations over the mountains and deserts are most intense, whereas closer to the coast, 1.5 to 3 inches. We can handle that. We've done that before. It's still going to be a lot of rain for us, but we are watching for the worst impact as far as rainfall goes to be over the mountains and deserts. Expected to make landfall Sunday afternoon as a tropical storm. Again, right now we're looking at about that 3 to 5 time frame in the afternoon hours. So keep tight on that, but also keep in mind that since this is so predominantly heavier in the front end of it, we are looking at most of our rainfall to come prior to that technical landfall. Want to point out, when we look at our satellite radar imagery, and specifically just satellite imagery, we saw earlier today a more well-defined eye wall, a very uniform system, and as it made its way north and continues to do so, look at that breaking apart. I mean, you see how much of this storm was compact, all white there on the screen, and then started to slowly break apart. It's just not quite as strong as it once was because it hasn't encountered that warmer ocean water, so it is breaking apart. This is exactly what we expected it to do. We have been saying from the start, this will likely make landfall as a tropical storm. And at one point it was a Category 4 storm. So it dropped progressively from there. When we look at satellite radar, late Saturday night, early Sunday, we're expecting showers to begin over the mountains and deserts. This has been the last couple hours. And again, this is as of about 10:30 p.m. on Saturday. Showers popping up across the mountains and deserts. They will begin to push west from here. As those showers push west, they will begin to increase in intensity. Localized, heavier bouts of severe thunderstorm activity easily possible as we get to those more inner bands of this storm. I want to give you a little bit of a wider look and show you how much moisture is just surrounding us. Earlier today, a good portion of the state of California, off toward Nevada even, saw plenty of thunderstorms popping up. We in San Diego saw a relatively dry day overall, but that is not the case for the entirety of the state. We call them popcorn thunderstorms just because they've popped up in random spots across the state of California. San Diego, though, has been mostly dry. we have a tropical storm warning in San Diego. It extends all the way down through the upper Baja Peninsula. Tropical storm warning, first one San Diego has ever seen in its history, and Southern California has ever seen in its history because it extends all the way up through LA County. Hurricane warning as you move farther south. That's that more light red tone on the screen here. So let's walk through some of those models, shall we? Time this storm out for you. Overnight, from tonight into tomorrow, I've said this a couple times, we're going to watch these showers intensify. Here it is, yellow across the screen, across the mountains specifically. We're watching as those showers pick up in intensity. They're going to break apart, so we're going to see these come in waves, right? So this is 7 a.m. Along the coast, we've got a more moderate band of precipitation taking place. Could be a little bit of a break for the mountains at that time. We'll continue all the way through 10:50 a.m. Watch as red pops up on the screen. Red is where we see the indication of severe thunderstorm activity taking place. That will continue north. Notice it is mainly over our mountains and deserts. That's where we see that heaviest flash flooding risk, but it will be a county-wide risk that we encounter because you even see close to the coastline some of that red popping up here on the screen. If we push all the way through 5:50 p.m., a lot of this storm is now passing to the north of us, at least the heavier bands, but we will still have the opportunity for some pretty moderate to heavy bands coming through. I mean, we just saw that orange and yellow popping up, passing north. This is now past midnight from Sunday into Monday morning. And Monday morning, we're still watching as those showers start to break apart. This is much less activity than what we're going to be seeing for, say, Sunday afternoon, but it's still activity nonetheless. Giving you a little bit of a closer look, you can see across our mountains, Pine Valley, Borrego Springs, watching as overnight those showers pick up and spread off to the west. We'll see the coastline waking up to some heavier showers as well. The heaviest bands that we see coming in those darker tones close to the Pine Valley area, Mount Laguna in for a pretty decent amount of precipitation as well. And we'll watch as these arrows, these wind arrows, show you the direction of wind. Now, those arrows are moving toward our area of low pressure. Center of low pressure, which is the eye of the hurricane, is where all of that air wants to go. Air naturally wants to move from areas of high pressure to areas of lower pressure. So it's all chasing that center of low pressure. And watch, as we go into our eye of the storm, essentially, that wind shifts direction. Now we're seeing that wind come from the south and move north because it's chasing that storm as it heads north. But we're still watching as pretty decent bands come through Sunday night into early Monday. And Monday morning specifically, 4:30 a.m., we're pretty much back to dry skies out there. How much are we looking at overall? 1.5 to 3 inches. This is a lower estimate, that 1.5 marker, versus the previous 2 to 3 inches we were favoring. So now we're looking at 1.5 to 3 inches. We would prefer lighter accumulations. We would prefer less of an impact, but we want to keep you prepared for whatever's going to be coming our way. 5 to 7 inches across the mountains, that's going to be the heaviest. There's some indication that Mount Laguna could see the heaviest accumulations overall. 7 to 10 inches is what they're favoring. And then across our deserts, 3 to 4 inches, depending on how fast all of that comes down, we could still see the possibility of flash flooding associated with our local deserts, and especially up to the north of us. San Bernardino, Riverside County also in for a good portion of this storm. Looking at your model comparison close to the coast, our San Diego coastline, coastal communities again are in that 1.5 to 3 inch range. You can see how these start to climb. These are different models that we use that tend to give different numbers. And as you can see, they're all pretty much in agreement as we get toward tomorrow afternoon and specifically Monday even, that these numbers are going to be right around 2 inches, maybe just a little bit higher, 2.2 inches. So 4 different models there for you that show what kind of numbers we can expect going into this weekend. Now, as far as wind goes, mountains and deserts have seen gusts in the 50, 60 mile per hour range. Coastline is not as used to it. So right now we are favoring the biggest impact to be along the coast in the form of wind versus the bigger impacts across our mountains and deserts to be in the form of rain. And you can watch as those winds pick up. Now, we are still concerned about the possibility of 50 and 60 mile per hour gusts across our mountains and deserts coming in conjunction with that rain. But what we're really going to watch out for is as this wind starts to spread west and you see that eye of the storm come about. Here it is again, closer to 5, 6, 7 p.m. on the clock. And we see that air circulating. This is that counterclockwise movement. And we're going to watch as those gusts pick up. Areas of purple on the screen closer to Fallbrook. Oceanside's at 33 miles per hour, 36 for Del Mar. Expect sustained speeds with this storm between about 30 and 40 miles per hour. And then those gusts to peak at about 60, maybe even 70 miles per hour. Okay, so let's summarize this for you. Today, Saturday into Sunday is where the brunt of this storm is coming. This is going to be an all-day rain event on Sunday, intensifying through the afternoon and evening hours. As we get into Monday, we're going to start to see all that wet weather taper off. We're going to be left with a decent amount of rain on the ground. Could be left with some power outages at times. We're also watching for down trees, of course, down power lines. All this wet weather comes to a halt Monday afternoon. Could even be left with some sunny skies as early as Monday afternoon. And then we dry out through the rest of the week. Temperatures regain some normalcy, mid-70s along the coast, upper 80s as we make our way inland. Upper 80s, as early as Friday, even Saturday of next week. So really headed back toward about normal. Look at your deserts right now, expected to see highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. This storm is a much colder storm for us. And then climbing back to their normal 100, 104 degree range by this time next week. All right, let's jump into the preparation portion of this. We are over preparing you because we want you to be ready for this storm. There is no apologies that we will make for making sure that you are ready for this storm. Do you have a full gas tank? Have you secured all of your outdoor furniture? Made sure that it's not able to be blown around and used as projectiles to fly into windows and break them? That's the largest concern with that outdoor furniture. Also you losing that furniture. So secure that outdoor furniture, fill up the gas tank, make sure you've got cash on hand, of course. Make sure you have an emergency kit with you that includes non-perishables in case the power goes out and your fridge goes bad, freezer goes bad. Also want to make sure that you have a flashlight with you, candles perhaps, as we could see stretches of power outages. Again, we are over preparing you. We want you to be extremely ready for this storm. And then if things end up on the lighter end, we can celebrate because we wake up then on Monday morning, for example, with a full tank of gas, with an emergency preparedness kit. It's all things that we can always use. So we encourage you to be prepared. We are going to be tracking this storm all day long. You'll want to join us for special coverage throughout the day on Sunday. You can find more on our website, cbs8.com, cbs8.com/weather as well. I'm Evan Irani with the CBS 8 Plus extended forecast. We hope you are in a safe place. Try to stay off the roads, make it clear for those emergency vehicles as we get into the day on Sunday. And we will see you back here as we continue with emergency coverage and with special coverage of Hurricane Hilary.